What is going on, everybody? Paul Rossi with 910 Drones. I am here with Brandon Fitzhugh of the Spring Lake Fire Department. Very recently, on the morning of March 28th, Brandon, along with the Fort Bragg Fire Department, responded to a call here in Cumberland County. They were able to utilize that drone. And can you go ahead, Brandon, and just tell us a little about that call and the events and what took place?
Yeah, so Saturday morning we got dispatched a little after 9:30 a.m. To two possible victims in the river due to kayaking. We immediately went to the water rescue mode, so we had the boat hooked up with our dually. Had a rescue truck, which I was crewing that day, immediately go to the bridge of Linden Highway. The second engine went to Spring Lake Outpost Command. And basically set up the whole operations standpoint, and we were just downstream trying to see if we can locate the victim. After arriving on scene, established command, try to get everybody in place, and just try to see exactly what was going on, and try to get more information together.
Okay, so you got on the scene initially, and you did or didn't use the drone?
So initially, we put it up just for a minute, and then the victims come walking out of the woods. So we didn't really need it no more. I'll put it back down, and I advised command that basically the victims have been found, and we was going to wrap up operations right there. So the boat wasn't even in the water or nothing.
Okay. And then at what point would you say that the drone came out and became like a critical tool kind of in the operation?
So after the victims were located, command was notified. We had EMS, check them out. And while we're having EMS do patient care, we get a second dispatch to let us know that there was more victims upstream now that didn't need help prior to this, but were stuck on a tree and could not just pass it. And they had children involved. So immediately put a drone back in the air, found them in probably about 4 seconds of it being up there. And I just kept eyes on the whole time until we got the boat, back into the water, and just went downstream to help locate them.
Okay, so got the drone up, was able to identify those additional victims, and then how, once you're able to find them, locate them, what way were you able to utilize the drone to plan and kind of coordinate efforts and help direct individuals?
So during this whole operation, once two victims were found and I notified command, we canceled all the other responding units. So basically that had to re-dispatched again due to us canceling them, being this is the second call. So while we're waiting on additional units, I got the drone up in the air, I got Fort Bragg sitting right beside me, and I am showing them the area view of where I want them to go to establish contact with the victims on the tree. And we just use it to guide, as far as just a map series to Brinkley Drive.
So visually, it's like you could have pulled up a map. You could have pulled up a map pretty quickly and kind of pulled out the roads to get an understanding, but it wasn't a very large area you were in, so to be able to just put the drone up to a higher elevation and kind of show basically the route they could take, and then they could see, okay, well, we're going to be able to put the truck here, but what's our footpath going to be? How are we going to kind of approach the people through the woods? So they were already able to kind of...
Correct. So when I basically showed them the area, we had a map on a phone that the driver was looking at, so he had just had a visual reference. I showed him way of Brinkley as far as just the road outlook, so he followed down the map, and I said, this is a little cut path right beside where like a power supply unit was. And that was straight down to the river, right to the victim, so it was immediate contact.
Excellent. And then was there a point kind of during the operation where you realized that the drone had done its job, and kind of keeping it in the air or trying to continue to operate the drone may have just become not a hindrance, but it just wasn't necessary or needed anymore, and it was like, hey, we got the aerial information we need, let's bring the drone down and let's just make this rescue?
Correct. So when initially Bragg got there, made patient contact, that right there I knew for a fact, at least they had eyes on it, and I knew we needed to establish a command at the bridge now because we got more people involved. It was going from 2 people now to 5 people, so it's definitely a bigger span of control. So I took over command operations at the bridge. I stayed in the air until our boat arrived on scene also to make patient contact at the tree. And then I took the drone and put it back down, and then was able to orchestrate everything else that had to go on. We mobilized our side-by-side on the opposite side of the river to make additional patient contact, and then was able to extricate all the patients from the tree. So even though we would like to have it in the air, at that time it was more beneficial to try to focus on rescuing the 5 people 100% since patient contact was made.
Understood. Well, excellent. Again, thanks for taking the time and kind of going through this incident again and explaining the benefits of UAS and how they support public safety. Is there anything else you kind of want to add?
No, I mean they're very beneficial, and like that particular Mavic dual, we bought from 910 Drones, and we got it off a grant, so there was no taxpayers' money spent. I mean that's even the better concept of it, that it can be utilized properly, just dispersed through all your district or whatever cause you got, whether it be fire, water rescue, etc. But also you can get a grant that your taxpayers ain't got to use. So.
Excellent. That's great. That's a good point. If anyone has any questions, any public safety personnel watching this video have questions about grants, maybe how to acquire equipment for your department, you can reach out to Brandon. You can reach out to 910 Drones, and we can help get you kind of squared away. So again, I'm Paul Rossi with 910 Drones. This is Lieutenant Brandon Fitzhugh with the Spring Lake Fire Department. Thanks for watching.